Happy trails to your favorite coach, Brian Daboll. That's your guy. You love Brian Daboll.
At least you get to collect your check, Brian. But it was time, man.
Big one.
It was time.
Welcome to another edition of Why is Draymond Green Talking About Football with me, Jordan Schultz, presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. I am NFL insider Jordan Schultz. I'm joined as always by NBA champ and super fan Draymond Green. We've got a very exciting show planned after a huge Week 10. We got a ton of MVP talk coming up. Now, Draymond, I'd be remiss if I didn't jump right in and ask you about your boy, Brian Daboll, getting the axe in New York.
I told you he's not a very good football coach. You guys have gotten me in trouble with the name calling, so I'm not going to name call anyone. I'm just going to say he's not a very good football coach. But I will tell you this also, Jordan. I knew when they were on the 2-yard line, 3-yard line, whatever, half-yard line, and he kicked for 3 and not went for the touchdown, that was his job. That was the end. No one wants to be coached by. No one wants their franchise being coached by. No one wants as a general manager, the head coach of their team, as a guy who's playing not to lose. Like you go for 3 in that situation, you're playing not to lose. That's it. Get out the door. That's it. It's over. So well-deserved, and he lost his job right in that moment it was over.
You know, what's interesting about his situation is I don't know why the GM and him are not connected as scapegoats or however you want to call it. So what I'm trying to say is if you're the Giants and you're trying to get a reset, what has the GM done to warrant the opportunity to stay on? Because him and Daboll, they came in together. They're both from the Buffalo Bills. I don't get it. Like, all due respect to the organization, but I don't understand why it's one and not the other. It should be both if they're going to do it.
Listen, I think, number one, they got super excited about some almost champions. They ran to Buffalo and got some guys that's almost been champions quite a few times. But I think unless they believe in their general manager, I think, and you told me this, that like it's kind of useless to fire the general manager at this point.
During the
whether
season,
you do it
it
now
doesn't
or do it 7 weeks from now, like it really don't matter.
Yeah.
So when I see it that way with the GM, I definitely don't think he makes it past Black Monday. So that's kind of how I see it.
I'll tell you that the perception and what I was told was that Daboll, his time was short if they didn't show significant improvement. But what I was also told is that the GM, should they not look better the rest of the season, and it's not just about winning and losing, it's what the team looks like, and that's obviously on the head coach too. But if they don't look better the rest of the season, I think he's going to really be in a tough spot, the GM, Joe Schoen.
I think if they look great, he still should be in a tough spot. Like, it hasn't worked. Even if you slip by some teams and muster up to win some games, it doesn't work. Now, I'm going to tell the only reason I can see them giving him a little bit more of a shot is because they've struck gold in Jackson Dart and Cam Scotabo. That may be the only reason why they're still holding on to him, because of those draft picks as a recent. But no, I don't care if it goes like you hired that guy. You thought he was the guy. You're going to hire the wrong guy again. No thanks. Move on.
Yeah. The Giants, to me, of all the organizations that have struggled are arguably the most disappointing because the
Yes.
job is so coveted. You can get
Yes.
anybody to be the head coach of the New York Football Giants. It is a tentpole franchise. You know, the Giants, they carry a certain weight.
Yes.
And for them, I think this is now going to be their 6th coach in the last 12. I think I got to look it up, but it's like their 6th coach in 12 years, something like that. It's just not good enough, you know?
I agree.
And it's
I agree.
disappointing.
It is a very great job. You know, you're in New York City. You are the team in New York City. Obviously, the Jets are there, but like, I think New York is a New York Giants town,
there's a history
not a
of
New
the
York
Giants.
Jets town. Exactly. And I just, it's an easy job to fill. Like, you can literally go get the best guy. And they just keep getting it wrong. But now, Jordan, the problem you have now is you don't look good as an organization. So it won't be as easy to get maybe the coach you want because now it looks like a joke of an organization almost. And that's a problem.
What was your take on the Sauce trade? I haven't asked you about that yet.
I think you give up 2 first-round picks for an all-pro cornerback. I'm not mad at that. I think, the Jets did do well. I think they got the most value you could get for Sauce at that point. And I respect the coach for swinging. We know Sauce can be elite. Like that is understood, So I respect the coach for swinging. They think they have a team that can go for it. And they're pretty much like with that move, they're saying that we're all in right now. Sauce is on a new contract, right? So you don't have to worry about re-upping him anytime soon. I like the trade. I think, the Colts definitely, if there was some position where they can add, it's definitely at cornerback. And you got an elite cornerback. I like it. They think, like I said before, they think they got their quarterback of the future. So what you holding out for if you can get an elite cornerback that already had the accolades, that already has the experience and shown he can do it? Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's also a massive vote of confidence in Daniel Jones.
1,000%.
Because you don't make that move. Yeah, you don't make that move if you're the Colts and give up that much if you don't really believe that he's the quarterback and that this iteration of this team now or in the foreseeable future is a legit contender.
1,000%. That's exactly what that move screams. So I respect it. I like it.
Yeah. You said something on the Draymond Green show that really struck me. You were talking about Cooper Flagg and how hard it is to ask him to do what he's doing in terms of play without a point guard, handle the ball a ton. And it got me thinking about the correlation to the NFL and being a quarterback early on when you don't have an offensive line and you don't have enough weapons. And I know Daniel Jones is not your favorite, but if you think about what happened in New York and not being set up for success, especially with a coach that I know you don't believe in, and Brian Daboll, look what happens now. It's like now he's got all that around him and he's playing really well.
It makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference, to have a coach around you, a team around you that believe in you, to be in a great organization. I can speak from experience, and to be in a great organization, and you see some of the things that guys go through around these leagues, like it's everything. You look at Sam Darnold and the Jets, right? Like then Sam Darnold goes on, like it wasn't just Kevin O'Connell. Like he's now in Seattle, and they look like
absolutely
one of the best teams in the league. And so it makes all the difference in the world to be surrounded by the right talent, the right infrastructure, coaching staff, etc. That all of that makes a huge difference, and we're seeing that with Daniel Jones. We're seeing that with Baker Mayfield. We're seeing that with Sam Darnold. We've seen it with Geno Smith. The list goes on and on and on of guys that we've seen that happen with. You even look at it like, not to go way off the grid, but you look at Steph Curry. When Mark Jackson came in, Steph Curry was able to start becoming Steph Curry because he had a coach that believed in him. coach before him believed in AC Law over Steph Curry.
That's a fair point. That's a good segue into MVP. We're talking about Daniel, talking about Darnold. Who are your top 3 MVP candidates right now? And don't forget about Jonathan Taylor. Because
Matthew
usually
Stafford's
for a running back. Okay, fine. Stafford's one. He's playing great.
Incredible. And I think he's well deserving right now.
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford's number
great.
1 for me. Number 2, I would go with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he's having a fantastic year. The way that offense looks, he is the best player in that offense. He's Sam Darnold bailout guy. He's everything. No one ever gives the receivers any love. I'm going Jackson Smith and
Jigba. He's been as dominant as anybody every week.
Absolutely.
I mean,
1,000%.
You look at his stats, there's no bad games. He has been dominant every single week. All right, so JSN's 2. Who's 3?
And then number 3, I'm going Jonathan Taylor. And with the way the Colts look, having a great running back definitely helps a quarterback. So having Jonathan Taylor definitely hasn't hurt Daniel Jones. I think that makes a huge difference. Colts look incredible. The numbers that he's putting up, I saw someone tweet yesterday, or excuse me, they put on Threads yesterday, is Jonathan Taylor this year's Saquon Barkley? And it's like the type of numbers
they're actually very similar.
They're very similar numbers, right? Yeah. And so if you're not going to give it to Saquon last year, I can't put Jonathan Taylor number 1 because it's obviously, you don't respect running backs and what they've done. So, but those are my 3 right now.
That's a hell of a list.
How about you?
Only 1 quarterback.
1 quarterback. Everybody always go 3 quarterbacks.
My list would be Stafford has been percolating. Is he 1? I guess I would go. I probably go Stafford, May, Taylor 3 as well.
Okay.
Taylor 3 as well. 4 Mahomes.
Okay.
And I'll go 5 Daniel Jones.
So about your list, you say 4 Mahomes. Does it not matter that they're currently not in the playoffs?
I'm predicting that they're going to be in the playoffs. But more importantly, forget what I'm predicting. He has played awesome. And I mean, he belongs in that conversation. He belongs in the top 5.
Great. He's definitely played great.
And, yeah.
Quite frankly, he's one of those guys now where playing great isn't enough. He got to be so spectacular.
Because of voter fatigue?
Yeah. Everybody's just
like,
of course
LeBron?
Patty's doing that.
Is he kind of like Braun?
Everybody's doing that. It's fine. Exactly. Of course he's doing that. It's okay. What's everybody else doing? So there's that as well.
It's early in the NBA, but do you know who belongs in the MVP conversation? How about Austin Reeves? He's averaging 31. He's shooting 48%. And they're 8-3.
Great. He's playing at an all-star level. Let's just he's Austin Reeves right now.
All-star level.
Who else?
NBA?
Yes.
Or NFL?
NFL.
Yeah, I'd say McCaffrey, Darnold, Mayfield. Yeah, those 3. McCaffrey, Darnold, Mayfield. I put in that conversation as well.
I can respect that.
Because it is a quarterback award. Just for context, Stafford has a 25-2 ratio, touchdown to interception. I mean, that's
insane.
That's incredible.
However, on Fanatics,
you know what else is
Drake May is currently the better
Drake May is betting favorite, plus 275. What's wild is that Stafford was an afterthought in fantasy drafts. He was an afterthought in every discussion this year. And there was some concern, I think, maybe his arm wasn't going to be as prolific this year.
Yes.
But, man,
he was coming off the neck injury or back injury or something.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Now, Stafford is the MVP.
I agree.
Wow. I didn't realize
sometimes
he was
when you start getting up in age and you Stafford has perfected the craft. Obviously, you're always trying to get better, but Stafford's and sometimes rest can do a lot for you. Yes, he wasn't training, but what throw can't Stafford make? Right?
He's always been one of the most gifted. Yes.
Recovering, maybe that's what his body just needed.
There's a great question that our amazing producers prompted, so I can't take credit for this. If Draymond Green were the GM or the owner of the Giants, who would he hire as the next head football coach that's available? You can't go hire. Would you hire Bill Belichick? Joe Brady is another popular one.
I don't know that you're hiring Bill Belichick because I'll tell you who I would hire before Bill Belichick, and I know people are going to hate this name.
I can't wait to see where you go with this.
He's supposed to be great with quarterbacks, but more importantly, he can handle what comes with New York. He got the demeanor. I think New York natives will love him. I think they should hire John Gruden.
I wasn't going to guess that.
I think they should hire John Gruden. You don't want to go with someone that hasn't had experience, because they're not in a position to swing. You've been swinging now for these guys that don't really have the resume as head coaches. You don't really have that luxury right now. You kind of need a sure thing. Now, can you get past
Gruden's not a sure thing.
With the emails.
But Gruden's not a sure thing.
The point is, Gruden's had success. Gruden's a Super Bowl champion.
He has had a lot. He's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, don't tell me a Super Bowl champion isn't a sure thing. He's a Super Bowl champion.
But he hasn't coached in the NFL for the better part of a decade. And the last time he did coach, it was an unmitigated disaster with the Raiders.
It was. So can you get past all of that stuff? I don't know, but the demeanor that you need as a New Yorker,
he has
Gruden has that demeanor.
Yeah,
it's like Tom Thibodeau, right? It's like Tom Thibodeau.
No, Thibodeau, but Thibodeau's very different from Gruden.
No, they got similar demeanors. Always,
but Thibodeau, all basketball, all football. He lives in the
Yeah, for sure.
Thibodeau is just too. Thibodeau doesn't.
I don't know Gruden as a person.
I
don't know anything about Gruden. I'm talking about football.
Okay, so you would say, you like the Gruden hire. Interesting. Can he at least get an interview? Because that would be entertainment in itself.
I think he definitely did an interview. But more importantly, I think you need to go with someone with head coach experience. You just have to.
Okay, so you're saying don't bring in a first-timer. That's
no.
Okay.
I have a question. Now, what does people think about Robert Saleh? Because I think he got the shit end of the stick with the Jets. And I players respect him so much. Even the players for the Jets respected him. I'm not mad at Robert Saleh either, but you have to go get a great offensive coordinator, be that you got a young quarterback and, a Ben Johnson type-ish, offensive coordinator who
but that's a first-timer.
No. I'm talking about as the offensive coordinator if you bring in Robert Saleh.
Oh, sure. The perception of Saleh is great guy, great coordinator. Is he a head coach? I think most people would probably say he's not a head coach. But at the same time, I will say, when he was fired, they were in contention for first place. It was not even a month into the season.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done a really good job with a Niners defense that's been decimated by injuries.
That's what
he
I'm
is
saying.
at the very least a top tier. Yeah. He's at the very least a top tier defensive coordinator. I don't know if he's a head coach.
He's one of the best.
I don't know that he's not.
Coordinators.
I don't know that he's not. But
if you're going to take a swing, I love taking that swing. What I heard was how the players spoke about him when he was fired. And again, the ability
I think they respect him a lot
to play for you is no one plays for Brian Daboll. The ability to get someone to play for you is half the battle. It's half the battle.
That's Steve Kerr's superpower, right?
1000%. But Steve is also X's and O's and temperament.
Right,
and
he's the full package.
Understanding how to win. It's a different thing with Steve. But
yeah,
just the ability, like Ime Udoka get guys to play for. I think it's because of how his demeanor and how he bring it every single day and what he speak on. He speak on like real terms, not these fake ass basketball terms. Like, no, we're gonna talk as men. And I think guys respect that.
We'll keep an eye on those storylines and more as we move into week 11. Before we get to our weekly bets, a quick word from our friends at Fanatics. Other sports books just don't hit right, but FanCash makes switching to Fanatics Sportsbook easy. Only Fanatics gives you up to 10% back on all bets. Win or lose, you can use your FanCash to unlock the world of Fanatics for more bets to tickets to memorabilia and one-of-a-kind experiences that only Fanatics can offer. Don't leave rewards on the table this football season.
Switch to Fanatics Sportsbook and let the FanCash roll in. Winning hits different here.
Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, 800-327-5050. New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app. Hashtag Fanatics Sportsbook partner. Now, as always, it's time for picks and parlays presented by Fanatics Sportsbook. First up, we have a three-leg parlay for Thursday Night Football as the Red Hot Patriots host the New York Jets. Now, all lines are from Fanatics up to date as of our recording today, Monday, November 10th. Draymond, let's start with an anytime touchdown. Now, I want you to take the reins on this because I just can't get it right. And you texted me after, I think, last week's 0-3 performance, and you said, dude, you flat out suck. And I said, yeah. Now, my pick for this, I'm just going to throw it out there, would be Travion Henderson, who went for 144 and finally erupted. The superstar talent running back for the Patriots had 2 touchdowns against the Bucs. He's plus 170. But there are a whole host of others, including Drake May plus 200, Breece Hall plus 140. That's another one I like. So who do you like anytime touchdown?
So you said every name on the list, but who I was actually going with was Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall got something to prove. He didn't get traded like he wanted to. And I think with that chip on his shoulder, I'm taking Breece Hall for anytime touchdown.
I love that pick. That's actually my pick as well. So knowing it's my pick as well, would you want to change it or you stick with it?
No, I was taking Breece Hall anyway. You just said every name.
Okay, all right. So Breece Hall.
Kind of make it feel a little better for you, which works for me.
Yeah, he's had 2 monster games in a row, had 140-something yards last week, had a touchdown, went crazy against Cincinnati. So that's one.
The second leg of my parlay, I'm going to go to game over and under. New England hosting their division rival, the New York Jets. You know how I feel about rivalry games. They're usually low scoring. Also, these Thursday night games, these guys be dead. And the scoring just doesn't get up there. So I am going to take the under 43.5 is the second leg of my parlay.
And how about the third leg? How about a receiving parlay here?
And the third leg of my parlay, I am going to take, I think the best bet on here is Stephon Diggs for 50-plus reception yards.
Quietly had a very good year. Good year for them.
Yes, he has. He's very motivated to prove he's still Stephon Diggs. He has a good quarterback, great coach, great organization. I'm going to take Stephon Diggs 50-plus reception yards. Also, versus a defense that just traded their best cornerback. I'm going to take Diggs for 50-plus yards.
Well, and their nickel cornerback, by the way. So to summarize, we got our 3-leg parlay for this week. Breece Hall, anytime touchdown. The under 43.5 and Stephon Diggs 50-plus receiving yards. Be sure to check out our parlay in the Fanatics Sportsbook app and ride along with us on Thursday night. Dre, now it's time for our head-to-head pick'em. Each week we pick the hottest games against the spread. Last week we both went 2-2, which means we are both 19-20. It just sounds awful to be below 500. It's just bad. We're both 19-20
for the
against
rest of the year. I won't be there after this week.
Chicago at Minnesota. This is a really tough game. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite. Minnesota's so up and down, man. I'm going to take Minnesota. Yeah, I'm going to take Minnesota -3 against the Bears.
The Bears have been hot, man, and they've been finding a way.
Yeah, they keep finding ways.
I can't believe
I don't know how they beat the Giants.
Take the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears +3 on the road
Your
at
boy
Minnesota.
Caleb.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but I am going to take the Bears.
We got Tampa at Buffalo. Buffalo comes off their worst loss of the season and maybe in several seasons against Miami. -5.5 against Tampa. I'm going to take the Bills as a get-right. Not that Tampa Bay's a get-right team, but the Bills are 5.5-point favorites at home coming off a terrible loss. So give me the Bills.
Yeah, I think
Tampa
Bay going to the cold. Tampa Bay going to the cold is a very tough thing. Nonetheless, I think 5.5 points against a motivated Tampa Bay team. They know they're coming off a loss. Baker going to have them boys ready to go. I'm going to take Tampa Bay. +5.5.
Yeah. Seattle at Rams. This is an unbelievable game. There's two phenomenal games. It's Seattle at LA, Kansas City at Denver. Both great. I'm going to go Seattle with a little homerism. Give me Seattle +3. I can't wait for this one. Who do you like?
I think this is an exciting game as well. I am not going against Matthew Stafford. Devontae Adams, I told you before the season, I said, no, I'm not saying Devontae's a breakout player. I'm just saying Devontae about to look special and get back to who he is. And he looks incredible. I'm taking the Rams, no questions asked. -3.
What's wild is that the Rams, Seattle, and Kansas City, Denver, neither one of those are primetime games. Lions at Eagles is the other one. That's a monster game, too. That's a great Sunday night game. Wow. Kansas City at Denver. KC's a 3.5-point favorite. Denver not having Surtain is a big factor. Bo Nix, he's very good, but he's still a little Jekyll and Hyde. And Kansas City needs this more. Give me the Chiefs. They are a 3.5-point favorite at Denver. I'm going to take Kansas City.
I don't love that half point. KC at Denver, I just don't love the 3.5. 3, I'm all in on KC. The half point scares me.
Really?
It does. That half point really scares me. Because, I can see how this ends.
You don't like the hook.
Walking down at the end and kick a field goal.
24-21 kind of thing. Yeah, that's tough.
I can see that happening. I'm going to take Denver +3.5.
All right.
Nick Bonito
Denver
in the defense.
Wow.
Nick Bonito in the defense. I think they
find a way.
They're going to get it done. They're going to find a way to at least not lose by 4. I'm taking Denver.
We'll track these picks every week, powered by Fanatics Sportsbook. You can follow along and put your own futures in the Fanatics app. Draymond, that is a wrap on this week's episode. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. Your boy's about to pass out. Any parting thoughts? You know what? My parting thoughts? Happy trails to your favorite coach, Brian Daboll. That's your guy. You love Brian Daboll.
At least you get to collect your check, Brian. But it was time, man.
Big one.
It was time. But I'll tell you what, for those of y'all who know what's happening with this against the spread, at the end of the week, I'll be 23-20. Jordan will be 19-24.
All right, brother. Great stuff today. Good luck in your back-to-back.
Brother.
And you too, brother.
Subscribe right now on YouTube. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and download Fanatics Sportsbook so you can make your picks along with us.
We'll see you next week.
Deuces.